In this video, I'm going to show some of the basic actions of the deponent list, as well as what the processing entails. So first of all, now that we've got some data in here, one of the nice things is when you've got a lot of deponents, you can pin a specific deponent to the top if you're continually working with that person. So for example, if we're working with Jack Thrasher, um, and you don't want to keep scrolling down to the bottom to find him, you can just pin him to the top of the deponent list, and it'll be right there every time that you come back to this project. Another thing is once you've got these designation sets entered with data, you can select them and you can perform actions on them. A quick way to select everything is this select all button up here, or you can select specific individual items, or you can select columns, or you can select deponents. And really, it's up to you what you want to perform the action on, but that's the way to kind of go about quickly selecting things. Um, you've also got this quick print, which is print selected. And if you select a deponent that you want to print a transcript out, and by print it, I mean physically print the transcript, you can just use the print selected and it will print that transcript out. So that's there. We'll also take another look at the icon key real quick now that we've got data in here. So obviously our transcripts here, you can see gray means no transcript. Green means a text transcript has been entered, but you won't have the runtime functionality with a text transcript. The blue icon, the MD is an MDB transcript, and that will have the runtimes associated with it. Gray is no designation. Green is designation's been added, and there are no problems with it, no errors. Red means that there are designations, and they do include errors. Blue means processed without errors, and yellow or orange means processed with errors. So what is the processing? Well, there's a couple of things that the processing does. The first is that it removes any duplicates. So if you've got two of the exact same designation, it'll remove one of those instances so that there's just one remaining. It'll remove any overlap. So if you've got designations that overlap with each other, it'll put them together so that there's no duplicative information there. It'll combine any sequential designations. So if you've got two designations that are adjacent to each other, so for example, one stops on page 10, line 13, and the other one starts on page 10, line 14, it'll put those two together, essentially condensing all your data and bringing it to its simplest form, so that you have less information to work with, and it just kind of streamlines everything. And the other thing I would mention with that too is it can be used with those set lines within the manual entry window. So for example, if someone's designated around line 1, you can change the start line of that designation set to begin on line 2. So when you run the processing, it'll work right around that. So it'll put designations that end on line 25 and start on line 2 together so that you can kind of work around that, the fact that someone left out that line 1 consistently. So the processing, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can run the processing on the items that you have selected, which in this case we don't have anything selected, but you could obviously quickly select all, or you can select unprocessed, and that will run the processing on anything that hasn't already been processed. So we're just going to do that, and as soon as it's complete, you'll see the icons change to um, their updated color. The other thing that I'll mention while this is going is that your original data, while it's being changed now into its simplest form, it will be stored in the archive so that you can get back to it if there's something that happened that you didn't want it to happen, you wanted to see what you had originally and how it changed it. All of that information is stored in the archive, so that's there. You can always get back to it, and it will have all those versions as well as the process time, the time that you ran it, and you can pull down that data from there. So we can just click over here and you can see that our original data is populated in these fields, and it tells us what time and what date that processing took place. And if we go back, all of these designations have been condensed so that we know they're ready to go. And that's just reducing the work going forward, making everything simpler and easier. That's the processing and some of the deponent lists simple actions. So thanks for watching.